Welcome to another episode of Chad Sports Talk. My name's Chad. Take a dive. We're sports, and welcome to my continuing uh, series of the top 50 of NFL positions. And today's episode will constitute the offensive linemen. Yes, I combined all three linemen into one big jumbo package type of deal, and it's not really, discredit to the linemen themselves. And it's just, limited number of videos, basically. And the reason, the points of the linemen is like if they don't have a good line, you don't protect the quarterback, who don't throw up those wonderful stats, or you have the running backs having the holes to make those long gains, so you won't have great careers of Emmitt Smith or Tom Brady without a decent line. But before I dive into all that, if you could, go ahead, smash that thumbs up for me, give me a like. It really pleases the YouTube guys, really help promote this channel out. You can also subscribe. I love you guys reviewing my work, and I love you all for doing that. Now, if you subscribe, it doesn't cost you a dime. It helps me provide more entertainment value for you. Now, like I said, with the alignment, I did kind of, just throw them all together into one massive group. There's no fault to their own. And through the years at NFL, you've seen the positions evolve from what they started as, a conglomerate of about 20 or 30 guys that played both offensive, defense, and quarterback's normally your kicker or something like that. So the body type for your lineman was smaller compared to today's game. Today's game, you look at a guy that's standing 6'3", 6'4", 350 pounds, a solid brick house. Where before you guys were probably maybe 6 foot, 200 pounds. So the evolution of the game has changed aspects of how these players have evolved themselves physically to be more competitive on the field. And you see these guys, now they used to be really big, now they're still big, but now they're quick. Nothing more scary than a fast big man. But those that watch professional wrestling can tell you, fast big mans are dangerous too. But with this aspect, I did do a lot of earlier guys in the beginning. Some of them play both ways, but I kind of went more on the offensive line than I did defensive line. And there's a few exceptions here and there, but I did it that way, kind of benefit that. I think at the time frame, most of the offensive linemen, a lot of them doubled up as linebackers in the early days. And there's been plenty of good linebackers. So my top 50, I compose a list of we'll have 10 centers, 20 tackles, and 20 guards. So I kind of even them out respectively between all three positions. I even have 5 current O-linemen in here as well to kind of round out the top 50. So it's not all, the old guard. A lot of these guys are also, some of them are mostly retired. But to kind of break down how this one kind of went, I have 41 Hall of Famers in my top 50, including one that's also in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Shocker there, or that's kind of a shock there, like with that one. And it's kind of funny that when he retired from football, he spent time in Major League Baseball as an umpire. Two of them were, of course, 4-time AAFC champions, so 2 Browns, 8 AFL champions, 47 NFL titles, 21 Super Bowl titles. Believe it or not, there's also 2 NFL MVPs in this selection. Just because of how the game was played in the early days, they were able to get the MVP. 42 all AFL selections with 332 all pro selections, 39 AFL All Stars, 326 Pro Bowl selections. Those include multiple all-decade team selections ranging from the 1920s to the 2010s to include 43 total, 5 all-time AFL members, 3 that were part of the 50th anniversary team, 10 for the 75th, and 18 for the 100th, and with 1 player in all 3. So this is a very inclusive type of list, and it's just an amazing amount of behemoths that are on the line, and some are like extremely quick. Some of them that probably should be in the hall, they're not in there. They want a couple of the key guys I have in there that are not. We're part of the all AFL teams. They're not in the Hall of Fame yet, but some of the other members are, like Jim Tyre and John Morris, just to name a couple. Two spoilers for you already. And a couple other guys are kind of, one that's actually a recent retiree who's not quite eligible yet to get in there, but I think he should get in. That's Joe Thomas with his 8 All-Pros and 10 Pro Bowl selection. He should be in the Hall. But we got to see other offensive linemen have been sitting waiting for a while not to get in, like Steve Winooski. Been retired since 2000, after the 2001 season. He still is not in the Hall. He's an 8-time All-Pro, 8-time Pro Bowler. Well, I got him here in my top 50, so there's 2 more for you. So there's 4 spoilers. And with this upcoming presentation that I will provide you, like I've done with all the other ones, it'll be broken down with when they first started playing to the more recent guys. But for the offensive linemen, I actually broken down per position. So the first, you'll see the centers and the guards and the tackles. They're organized by when they started playing, the oldest to the most recent. So you see my starting 5 linemen at the end of each of those selections. And, most of these, I think not many people will really, really doubt too much. Maybe my, current players, maybe. But most of them are all on anniversary teams. So, and then a lot of them, the all-decade teams. So these are very prominent individuals, and definitely a lot of quality linemen that played the NFL throughout their time frame. But I'm going to go ahead and get this presentation on to you, and I'll see you on the other side. Aaron, I hope you kind of enjoy, those individuals that I showcased about, the the moral of the O line. But like I said, this is a completely perfect list. No, this isn't my interpretation of my top 50. There's definitely some other guys I want to put up there, and I had to take out and try to I wanted to make it even with the centers, guards, and tackles. So there's a few guys I would have had up there, but I had to pull back because of the centers. Centers were a little on the low end on this section, so I had to make sure I tried to balance it out as best as I possibly could. Now, normally I would kind of do like a next 25, but because of I'm dealing with three behemoth positions, especially when you have two guards, two tackles on your offensive line, almost your center, so you get these five big men. I can't just do another next 25. I had to do another next 50. Now, this one, I didn't constrain my requirements to make sure they're evenly based out on position-wise. And then my next 50, I actually have more centers than my previous one and less guards. I actually have a couple extra tackles, so that's kind of how I kind of disseminated some of these positions on this one. And for my next 50, I still end up having 26 Hall of Famers, which will complete all the Hall of Fame guys or all the offensive line. 3 AFL champions, 27 NFL champions, 27 Super Bowl champions, 8 NFL selections, 191 All-Pro selections, 8 All-Star selections for the AFL, 229 Pro Bowl selections. They include 29 additional members of the All-Decade Clubs, even from the 1920s all the way to the 2010s, and 2 all-time AFL selections. So you'll definitely see a wide variety, and you kind of see a lot of other players that could have been very good, like haven't gotten the Hall yet. The party should maybe get in there, just because of the mere fact of their capability sometimes. To include Ed Boud, or Boudet. I mean, I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce his name, but he's also one of those old AFL guys that did extremely well. Transitioned quite well into the NFL ranks. We only got 2 Pro Bowl selections, but definitely not in there. Part should be because of the amount of that he was physically on the line all the time. A couple other guys that just recently retired, probably see them in there, like Jason Peters, just recently retired, and I think he'll probably be in the Hall of Famer sooner or later. Marshall Yanda as well, retired a couple years back. So, and then especially Marquise Pouncey, another one. So, some guys in here that probably will see the Hall of Fame and a little bit later in the career. But let me go ahead and get this presentation out to you, let you guys kind of enjoy and immerse yourself in this. And once again, I'll see you on the other side. Hey, thank you for enjoying that selection of my next 50. So, 100 big men on the line over the 100 plus years of NFL. I mean, that should, you know, a lot of these would be very, stoic individuals that create great teams. I mean, the monster teams of, from the undefeated Dolphins, the powerhouse of the old Chicago Bears, the Green Bay dynasty, Steel Curtain, which is more, that's more the defensive side, but the offensive prowess of the Steelers, the Cowboys. So you have all these great teams with great offenses, and all stems from a great offensive line. Now, I'm sure there's going to be a few names out there. People kind of go, okay, what about this guy here? But like I said, these are just my selections, and they're not entirely perfect. And I think majority of people will agree with the vast majority of these selections. I think at least 40 from each group. Maybe a couple from my next should be up in the top 50, but hey, I totally get that, and I understand everyone has their own opinion about certain players. It should be up there more than others, and I get that. My next video in this line will be the defensive linemen. They'll kind of break down the next few videos, be the defensive line, which means defensive ends, defensive tackles / nose tackles, defensive guards, sometimes have been called. The linebackers, not put them all in the same ones, so inside, middle, and all that, and the defensive backs, I'll group them all together. So that's your corners, your nickelbacks, your free safeties, strong safeties, and then I'll do kind of like a special team. It's insert, but basically it'll be more kickers and punters. I'm not going to watch about returners because I kind of include a lot of the returners in a lot of these other key areas. Because if you look at some of the great returners, they were either receivers, running backs, or defensive backs. So make sure those guys are there. But that's it. I have like 4 more videos for these top positions, and then I'll probably culminate all of those into my ultimate team. Try to come up with a 53-man roster for the all-time, my perception of an all-time great team. So kind of correlate with how they've come across in a lot of these other particular areas, and just kind of stack them all together, see how it compares with like the NFL 100th anniversary team, vice versa. Probably gonna be almost similar to that one. I think, I don't know, but that's the next one coming up will be the defensive linemen. So you'll see like the greats of like Reggie White and Bill Hewitt. Just name a couple of the big men you probably see on there, and I'll make sure I get that to them as quickly as possible. In the meantime, just go ahead and comment down below what you think of this particular list. Who do you think I should have been in the top 50? Instead of like my next 50, who did I leave off altogether? You think should be there in one of these particular positions? You can also, like I said, like and share this video. It really helps promote this channel out, this video out. And once you subscribe, you can hit that bell notification, let you know next time I post a video. And I will see you next time on Chat Sports Talk.